You see the headlines practically every day, right? Some major company makes a big splash, pledging to be net zero or carbon neutral. It sounds really impressive, but what does it actually take to make a claim like that? Come on, let's get past the buzzwords and unpack what's really going on behind the curtain.
So yeah, you've definitely heard these terms thrown around. A company stands up and says, "We're carbon neutral," or "We're on the path to net zero." And it sounds amazing, but let's be honest, it can also feel kind of vague. What is the real difference? And how in the world are they supposed to get there? Well, to answer that, we have to start with the main tool that makes this whole thing possible. You know, to really get to the bottom of these corporate claims, we first need to wrap our heads around the main tool in their toolbox, the carbon credit. You should think of it as the currency of climate action, and it's all traded on this massive global marketplace. So what in the world is a carbon credit? Well, in plain English, it's basically a certificate. Each one of these credits stands for 1 metric ton of what's called carbon dioxide equivalent, and that's just a handy way to lump all greenhouse gases into one unit. So 1 credit means 1 ton of that nasty stuff has been stopped from ever entering the atmosphere. Or even better, it's been pulled right out of it. It's a tradable, verified piece of climate action. Okay, but these credits don't just appear out of thin air. They have to be earned, and it's actually a pretty rigorous process. It all starts with a project, something like building a new wind farm or protecting a forest that's at risk. First, you have to figure out the baseline. That's a fancy word for how many emissions would have happened without the project. Then you measure the project's actual, much lower emissions. The difference between those two numbers, that's the real climate benefit. But you're not done yet. That reduction has to be checked and verified by an independent third-party auditor. Only after all that does a standards body finally issue the official credits. Now, here's where people get tripped up. It's really easy to confuse a carbon credit with something called an emission allowance. But honestly, they're kind of opposites. An allowance is basically a permit to pollute. It's part of a government-regulated cap-and-trade system where the number of permits is limited. A carbon credit, on the other hand, represents a reduction that has already happened thanks to a voluntary project. Its supply isn't capped, it's created by someone, somewhere, taking positive action for the climate. So where does all this trading happen? It's called the voluntary carbon market, or VCM for short. This is the global ecosystem where companies, organizations, and even individuals can buy these credits. In doing so, they're financing all those climate projects we just talked about, and in return, they get to count that action towards their own climate goals. Okay, so we've got the tool, the carbon credit. Now let's see how it's actually used. This brings us right back to our core question. What's the real strategic difference between a net zero claim and a carbon neutral claim? It's a big one. All right, take a look at this chart because it shows everything. These are 2 completely different philosophies. On the left, you see the net zero pathway. Look at how steep that curve is at the beginning. It's all about making deep, drastic cuts to your own emissions first. The main focus is real decarbonization. It's only way down the road for those last few super hard to cut emissions that you use offsets. Now, look at the right. The carbon neutral approach can be way different. A company could, in theory, just keep polluting as usual and buy enough offsets to cover its current emissions without ever making those deep cuts. So let's just boil this all down. A truly science-aligned net zero pledge is a long-term commitment. It's about fundamentally changing your business to cut your own emissions by 90% or even more. Offsets are just for that tiny slice left at the end. Carbon neutrality, on the other hand, can be a claim you make right now, today, by just buying enough credits to cover your current footprint. It's really the difference between transforming your entire business versus just balancing the carbon books. But, and this is a huge but, this whole system, this entire market, faces a massive integrity challenge. You see, if a credit is supposed to represent 1 real ton of CO2 reduction, then we have to be absolutely positively sure that that 1 ton is only being counted 1 time. This is the infamous double counting problem. Let's make this super simple. Imagine a company in Germany buys a carbon credit that was generated by a new solar farm in Kenya. The German company uses it to claim they've offset their emissions. But hold on a second. Kenya also has its own national climate targets under the Paris Agreement. So can Kenya also count that solar farm's reduction towards its national goal? Who really gets to claim that climate benefit? That's the billion-dollar question. So this whole double counting thing, it actually comes in a few different flavors. You could have double issuance, where 2 different credits get created for the very same reduction. Or double use, where the same credit gets sold twice. But the one that really threatens the integrity of the whole global system is the third one, double claiming.
Double claiming is exactly the Kenya-Germany scenario we just talked about. One single emission reduction is claimed by two different parties for two different goals. The company claims it, and the host country claims it for its own national target, its nationally determined contribution, or NDC. And when that happens, we're counting 1 ton of reduction twice on the global balance sheet. We're creating the illusion of progress when nothing has actually changed.
Now, this is obviously a really serious threat to the credibility of the entire market. But thankfully, the international community saw this coming. And through the Paris Agreement, they've actually designed a pretty clever accounting solution to stop it. And that solution is called a corresponding adjustment. The easiest way to think about it is like an entry in a global ledger book. Under the rules of the Paris Agreement, if Kenya sells that credit to the German company for an offsetting claim, Kenya has to officially adjust its own climate report. It essentially subtracts that ton of reduction from its own national tally, formally transferring the climate benefit to the buyer. This way, the reduction is only ever counted once, period.
This flowchart here lays it all out beautifully. A carbon credit can now go down one of two paths. On the left, if the host country, say Kenya, authorizes it for international use, that automatically triggers the corresponding adjustment we just talked about. This credit can now be used by a company for a true offsetting claim. But look to the right. If the credit is not authorized, the climate benefit stays with Kenya to help it meet its own national goal. Now, a company can still buy this type of credit, but they can't say they're offsetting their emissions. Instead, they can only claim they made a financial contribution to climate action. See the difference? Okay, so here's the crucial bottom line. In this new era of global climate accounting, if a company wants to make a credible carbon neutral claim, or if it wants to use offsets for that last little bit of its net zero target, it needs to use credits that are authorized by the host country and backed by one of those corresponding adjustments. Anything less just won't cut it. This is the new gold standard for integrity. And this brings us right back to where we started. As these new international rules finally take shape, and as market integrity becomes totally paramount, all these corporate climate pledges are suddenly under a brand new microscope. The question is no longer just, what are you pledging to do, but how exactly are you going to do it? Are companies going to do the hard work of deep internal decarbonization? And when they do turn to offsets, will they use the ones that meet this new, highest standard of accounting integrity? That, right there, is the real test of a credible climate claim.